Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So is the new all-time high confirmed for Bitcoin? Because in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever the price of Bitcoin was able to find support or close above this middle of the channel, this yellow line you can see here, which is the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve 50%, guys. In the past Bitcoin price action, whenever we close above this yellow line, the price of Bitcoin always tested the next Fibonacci line of 61.80 in an uptrend like this. But when we got a rejection from this middle of the channel, we started this downtrend. But in our case, since the price here has now closed above this middle of the channel, is this also an indication that price of Bitcoin could be heading towards the next Fibonacci line of 61.80, which is lying around 67,800 price range? And if that is going to happen, then the price of Bitcoin is also going to make a new all-time high, because in the past Bitcoin price action in an uptrend like this, you can see whenever we were able to close above this middle of the channel, the price always tested the 61.80 Fibonacci line. Also in the past Bitcoin price action around 2013, you can see whenever we were able to find support above this middle of the channel, the price of Bitcoin always tested the 61.80. And in our case right now, as I've already said you, we are above this middle of the channel, and that is also sign that we could be heading towards the next Fibonacci line and making a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So in a weekly, according to this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, the price of Bitcoin looks very, very interesting. And it doesn't matter if you want to look at this in a bit different way, guys. Simply in a weekly time frame, if you use this rising trend line, which has been acting as a strong line of support here since March 2020, with each and every price pullback, you can see this rising trend line along with this 50 weekly moving average has always been a strong line of support for Bitcoin. So that's why we have said, if we do see a bigger pullback, right, and price again retesting this 50 or even this rising trend line, we should be absolutely fine. The price here could still continue this rally here to the upside. So price closing below this 50 weekly moving average and also the rising trend line, which is also showing us a possible trend duration, only then we are going to be really bearish for Bitcoin. But any sort of a shakeout on our way should not bother us that much, because in a daily time frame, not just in a weekly time frame, we have talked about different scenario that was pointing out the price movement here could be in favor of bulls. Also through this bump and run reversal pattern, as you can see, according to the bump and run reversal, as soon as we break out of this falling trend line which previously acted as a resistance, the price should be ready for this new uphill run. Before this uphill run starts, you can see price usually gets thrown back to the trend line, and when we find support there, we usually start a new move here to the upside. And this is exactly what happened here in price action Bitcoin. You can see this falling trend line was acting as a strong line of resistance. We found support above it, we got thrown back, and now we are showing a pretty similar scenario from this uphill run. So this scenario is also clearly in favor of bulls. And not just only this, if you remember from yesterday, I showed you this ascending channel and why there could be a possibility of price first testing this upper line area of this ascending channel before again choosing an actual trend direction, because we are aware around this price range of 58,000, 58,800, there is a strong line of resistance, not just only from this ascending channel area, because we talked about this Fibonacci extension line and why this Fibonacci extension line is playing an important role at this current stage. Because for the immediate short term, if we do see any sort of a pullback, 0.618, which is lying around 54,000, is going to be a strong line of support. We are aware of that, and our next possible target, you can see here, is the 0.786 Fibonacci extension line, and that is also lying around 58,000 range. So that's why this upward price movement around this 58,000 could make a lot of sense for Bitcoin before choosing a trend direction. Because if you look at this price action, not just only this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, ascending channel, bump and run reversal, also this in a weekly time frame, the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves are in favor of bulls. But also if you look at this bit differently, I mean, if you look at the price structure, let me show you one very, very interesting scenario that could be unfolding here. So if you have watched my video from yesterday, we talked about this bullish pennant type of scenario that was playing out for Bitcoin. And according to the bullish pennant, we were aware there will be many shakeout and bigger weak rejection along our way, because according to this bullish pennant, you can see there has been many weak rejections, support and resistance from the symmetrical triangle, upper line acting as a resistance, lower line acting as a support. So you can see whenever we try to break out of it, we got a bigger weak rejection here to the upside, and also plenty of bigger weak rejection here on our way when we were heading to the upside. So this here, you can see this bigger weak rejection, and also this actually make a lot of sense for Bitcoin. So that's why if we do see a pullback before again moving it to the upside, guys, we are expecting the upper line area of this symmetrical triangle being a strong line of support that could be around 54,000. But if we look at this bit differently, I mean, if you would simply add an ascending channel type of scenario at this current stage, you can see here, guys, a very interesting scenario. So according to this ascending channel, if we remove this bullish pennant and simply look at this price movement, you can see resistance, resistance, resistance. So now this pullback what we are witnessing could be a retest of this previous temporary resistance line. So if we do somehow manage to find support above this 56,000 today, guys, then this trend is more probably going to continue towards this 58,000, the next Fibonacci line of 0.786. So this here is our upward price target for the immediate short term. And if we do see any sort of a pullback, we are aware the 0.618, which is lying around 54,000 to 0.5, in case in a bigger pullback around this 51 to 52,000 is a strong line of support for Bitcoin. So that's why, guys, even if we would see some more shakeout on our way, I strongly believe the price of Bitcoin is still going to continue this rally here towards this 58,000 before choosing an actual trend direction. So these are some of the scenarios I thought sharing with you into this quick update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and a bell. By saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.